Hey everybody, so this is a special video to kind of explain my expectations for the music analysis chart. Every time you have a music analysis, you're going to need to fill out this chart. You can do it written, like handwritten, as long as I can read it. You could also, take the document, it's a Word document, and you can type in it. You can also use it as a PDF and fill it. So you should have two options to download this. It'll be Word document as well as a PDF. If you're having trouble opening it, please just shoot me an email and I'll make sure you can get something that'll work for you. So with this music analysis chart, you have a few different categories. And so the key to trying to analyze music is listening to it over and over and over. It's very difficult to listen to a piece of music and go ahead and catch every category. You have to go in and listen purposefully. And so what we're doing here is with the melody is usually that main part that you want to kind of hum. If someone says, what's the melody of Beethoven's Fifth? Most people can go, and that's the melody. It's the part that most people are familiar with. So you're supposed to kind of take a portion of a song that we listen to and just describe the melody in general, because a lot of melodies are repetitive. There will be some music where the melody just grows and there's growth in it and it changes. But a lot of melodies are very similar. Maybe they rise really fast and descends really quickly, or maybe it jumps up to a high note and it comes down for 2 or 3 notes and jumps to a high note, comes down for 2 or 3 notes. It takes a lot of active listening skills. So the more you can listen to it, the better. And also there's nothing wrong with you looking up a song and trying to find out more information about the melody. I am fine with you doing research. In fact, I encourage it because it'll help you understand more how to define melodies and how to explain what rhythms and things sound like. So with melody, you just need to do your best to listen and describe. What does this sound like? Is it going really, really high or really, really low? Does it sound like it's repetitive? It's the same few notes over and over. Does it have a lot of contrast? Because for us, a lot of melodies just repeat the same thing over and over and over. So your goal is to use complete sentences. Every category needs complete sentences. Something I don't want the melody was high and then it just dropped off. I need details. I want you to tell me the melody ascended to a high note and then after 2 or 3 notes it comes back down to its original note, or possibly lower than its original note. And a lot of this, for those of you that are not musically trained, you're going to have to do kind of some guessing. So it's okay if you say possibly to a lower note or possibly to a higher note if you're just not sure and if you can't find research on it. Rhythm. This is not tempo. Okay, tempo is, how fast or slow the song is. Rhythm is how are the rhythm as far as the differences in the note values. So, for example, for Beethoven's Fifth, you have what we call short and long notes, without going into super, musical theory detail. Short versus long. That's what you need to know. So you have short, 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 long, short, 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 long. And that's an example of Beethoven's. So I would describe that I would describe that rhythm as short, 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 long. That's one of the small motifs of that melody. And so you don't have to do the whole melody. You can just do a section. Next up, you have tone color. And tone color can be something that it just describes the sound you're hearing. I put a few words in there to help explain that, like bright or mellow. Some people might use sounds like full. Some people have used sounds like twangy. Or maybe it just has a little ring to it. You're basically describing the sound of the instrumentation that you hear. If you hear a really high-pitched piccolo, you're going to describe what that sounds like when it takes the melody as compared to the tuba or a trombone section having the melody. And so you just want to kind of give an idea of what that sound is like to you, the quality is like to you. Dynamics, this is about the loudness, the volume, loudness or softness of a song. So it's really difficult to kind of catch every single dynamical change, and you don't have to do dynamic changes all the way throughout a song, okay? I just kind of want an overview. Does this song typically stay loud throughout? Is it typically soft throughout? Is it mostly soft and then has a few surprise volumes? Does it have a lot of crescendo, decrescendo? Just try to find the patterns, the things that occur the most, most frequently. And that's what you're going to describe, but just make sure you're using complete sentences. Next you have harmony. So harmony. This one is a little bit tricky, but basically if you have a choir, most of the time it's going to be simultaneous chords. Okay, those are voices that are purposefully singing chords together to create a harmonic sound that's appealing. And then if you have simultaneous chords for instrumental stuff, usually the movement is together. The instruments move together at the same time or very close to it. When you have things like arpeggios, that's things like Bach's Cello Suite. You've probably heard it before. Bach's Cello Suite number 1. Da 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 da. That's a melody. That's an arpeggiated melody. So an arpeggiated harmony, it might be things that are just not really lining up, coming in and out at different times. So you can do some research on harmony if you want to. You'll usually hear more and more harmony as we go throughout this semester. You're going to start with very little harmony at the very beginning. And then as we go on each week, you'll hear more and more and more harmony being added. And so just be more detailed about what you hear, possibly what instruments are doing the harmony. That would be helpful as well. Texture. This is the one that really throws people for a loop, okay? So I'm going to try to give this to you simple and easy and straight, okay? Monophonic. Okay, mono meaning one, phonic meaning sound. So this is of one sound. So that means that if all of us were to get together and sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the same notes, the same rhythm, in the same octave, the same pitches, that's monophonic. When people get together and sing the national anthem and there's no harmony, everyone's on the same note and it's all together, monophonic. When a trumpet player is playing taps for a service or a funeral, monophonic, one sound. Homophonic. This is the same sound, okay, but it has harmony. So that means that the music is happening at the same time, but there's chords. A great example of this is basically any choral music that moves together. So if all the voices are singing the same words and the same rhythm at the same time, but have more than one pitch, that is homophonic. Another example of homophonic is your typical country song, okay? You've got all this music in the background, and then you've got the lead singer that has that main melody, okay? Also a rock song, pop music, anything that has a lead singer with backup instrumentation, that's homophonic, okay? And then you've got polyphonic. This is the one that is really strange, and it sounds like a bunch of different instruments or voices are doing a bunch of different things all at the same time, okay? So as we build through each week, you'll start to hear more and more polyphonic music. We're going to start off with monophony, lots of chant singing, all singing the same stuff. And I'll give you more and more samples of polyphonic. If you get confused on monophonic, homophonic, polyphonic, please just shoot me an email. I would be so willing to just try to explain that to you and even send you some examples so you can compare and contrast. And then form, this one we don't go into depth here. So this is something you will have to research for each song. So just type in the name of the song into Google, type in musical form, and you're bound to find information and see what you can find. Binary is just A-B form, meaning you have an A section and a B section, and nothing is different. Ternary is ABA, and there's just so many more. And we're going to go through symphonies, we're going to go through sonatas, we're going to go through so much stuff, oratorios, all different kinds of forms. There's fugues, there's madrigals, there's motets, all this stuff. And so just know that if we're working on symphonies, the form is going to have to do something with the symphonic form. If we're working on madrigals or motets, the form will be madrigals or motets, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind, but also always check your answers. There's no need to listen to a song 16 times to make sure you have the perfect answers. Listen to it 3 or 4 times. Go and research, see what you can find. Fill out this chart. There's tons of information you'll find out there. And more than likely, you'll want to look at least 2 sources, compare and contrast, okay? Because some people just put in stuff and there it is, no Wikipedia stuff. If you have questions about this chart, let me know. Just a reminder, I want complete sentences in every category. The more you can write, the more detailed you can write, the more I can know if you're on track or not. So please let me know if, number 1, you can't download this form. Number 2, you are completely confused and I have lost you. And number 3, if there's anything in here that you don't understand, okay? I'm going to go ahead and attach a few examples of how some of these have looked before that I've given really good grades to, and some examples that I've given some not good grades to. So you'll be able to see that below under course materials today. So this week you are working on learning how to fill out this chart, okay? All right. Good luck.